What's up, the squad? Back with another video. Y'all seeing the title is going down. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all seeing the title. Now, listen, before we get in this video, I definitely want to say I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for everything. It's definitely it's been pretty wild, you know, when it comes to YouTube. With views, with the algorithm, with comments getting deleted, likes getting taken away, subscribers, people that said that they didn't unsubscribe but they were unsubscribed. A lot of weird stuff going on. I hate it for my channel. I really do. But all I can do is keep moving forward, keep praying to God, and keep going. One thing that I definitely do want to say, though, is that if I do say the R word, there's two meanings. One has to do with color, and the other one, you already know. Y'all see it right here. AOC definitely tripping. I'm not even gonna lie. It says AOC needs to be sued. Somebody says removal of Congress, more like. Actively spreading false information on the platform that is meant to be a public service platform as well. Literally says here, AOC, quote, wow, who would have thought that electing a R word would have complicated the release of the Epstein files. So what people fail to realize is this isn't the first time AOC has said or called, President Trump, this R word. I know this has blown up, that she's made a post, but she has said it again. I did find this video and didn't realize it. I thought that this was the first time she, said this. It's definitely, I can't say that it's something that's surprising, because coming from somebody like this or Jasmine Crockett, you kind of like, it's not surprising to you because of how they carry themselves, what they say and what they do. It shouldn't be a surprise. But something definitely needs to be done when it all comes down to it. And somebody definitely did say that, AOC needs to be sued. And like I said, removal of Congress is more like I said, this is not the first time she has said this. I am going to take out, when she does say it, but best believe she does say it. Y'all can find this, Terry Dickinson, Texan, and it's at Zen Girl. So Zen, girl 1922. Y'all can find that at that, at her she literally posted a video. It says AOC isn't worried because this is the second time she's done this and nothing happened. See her video right before President Trump's inauguration. Maybe because she did right near his inauguration, the president chose to ignore it. I hope this time he doesn't. Like I said, I am going to take out that word, community guidelines, stuff like that. I don't want to get in trouble, but
all these journalists are like, Congresswoman, are you going to the inauguration? Congresswoman, are you going to the inauguration? Are you going to the inauguration? Let me make myself clear. I don't celebrate. So no, I'm not going to the inauguration tomorrow.
I'm telling y'all, disgusting, disgusting. Off bat. One thing about it, bro, people got to realize is that this is nothing that is surprising. This shouldn't be surprising. It's almost like you should expect it from a person like this. You should expect it from from Letitia James or Jasmine Crockett. You should expect stuff like this. But what people again fail to realize, y'all know Stephanopoulos or however you say his name. If I said it wrong, I really don't. I'm not a fan of him at all. We're just gonna say Stephan. AOC, and it's crazy that I'm saying Stephan because if y'all know who Retro Steph is, big shout out to Retro Steph. That's Stephan. That's my cousin. That's my family. So make sure y'all go subscribe to him. And please, check out his videos. Literally said AOC called Trump a R word in a post earlier. Maybe she ought to have talked to Stephan before pressing send. Ask him how that turned out. If y'all don't know, definitely got sued. Something serious. And I haven't heard much from Stephanopoulos. Do you think Trump should sue AOC? A lot of people are saying yes. I'm not even gonna lie. If y'all did miss, everything that happened with Stephanopoulos, Check it out what he says.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about the man
as a victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive.
That's wild, though. I'm not even gonna lie, and I feel like he knew what he was doing at the end of the day. About saying stuff like that. A lot of people do. And I find it. I don't find it funny at all. I'm not gonna say who it is, particularly in my family. But I've had family members. And it's not cool. That people just throw that word around or accuse somebody, especially if they haven't done it, because it's not cool at all. It's not cool at all. It's something that is very traumatizing. So. I don't know. It's pretty sad that people do that. I'm not even gonna lie. Definitely sad. But here right here. It says that President Trump should definitely sue AOC. This is Alan. Let's check it out.
New York Socialist Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She posted this tweet about Trump. She wrote, "Wow, who would have thought that electing would have complicated the release of the Epstein files? We all know that President Trump was never convicted of." Do you think President Trump should file another lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit against this member of Congress as well, sir?
Definitely. It's a far stronger suit than it would be against the Wall Street Journal, because everybody knows that not only was he not convicted of being arrested, he was acquitted of that charge specifically. And she's making it up in the face of knowledge that it isn't true. So it would be much easier to prove malice against her than to prove it against the Wall Street Journal. So I don't see any reason, if he's going to sue the Wall Street Journal, why he shouldn't sue her as well. No, he's going to have to sit down and be deposed himself, but he doesn't seem to be concerned about that, because everything about him is public. There are very few secrets left about Donald Trump.
I mean, and I feel like that's real. I feel like everybody is like trying to use everything against him that they can and they can't. You know what I mean? They trying to use everything against them and they can't. One thing about it is that everything, and what I absolutely love, I'm not even gonna lie, what I absolutely love about, Trump being in the White House, and I know that many of y'all agree with me, is that everything that they're doing, and I'm not gonna say everything, because obviously we're not gonna know too much, but a lot of the things that they're doing, we know about. You know what I mean? We know about. It's coming out so much, and y'all getting y'all information from myself, from others. You got Benny out there. You got Tatum. You got Steph. You got Rick. As y'all know, Rick is. Okay, Rick. Y'all got so many people. So many people. I know that I probably miss. Y'all got Doug, A-Dog. I can name a whole bunch of people. I can name a whole bunch of Davari. Y'all got Brandon. I'm telling y'all, so it's a lot. It's a lot of creators, that content creators that has a lot of information. I know a lot of people, don't watch the news and comes to go to YouTube and stuff like that. And I feel like it's it's pretty lit. It's a lot of information that's been that's been out. But one thing about it is that it's so many things that come out. With this Trump administration, and how I know that it's a lot of information coming out is because it's always somebody from the left or somebody that don't like Trump that says something about something that he does. But then when you have Biden and Kamala in office, it's real quiet because you don't know what's going on. Biden was barely there. Kamala was barely there, not even in the picture at all until, she had a trash campaign. So, I mean, it's stuff like that, something I definitely can say that I definitely love. One thing about it though is that AOC wants to say this and wants to say that, but literally got to hear AOC district is overrun with crime, literally everything. Says she doesn't care about her district, nor does she care about the people. There are only number of votes to her. It's time for someone to finally challenge this bartender. Supposedly she was a bartender. I didn't know that either.
It looks like
Check it out.
Roxanne put the red light back on in AOC's district. Fox News cameras caught 30 pretty women on just one block offering some money in Queens.
That's wild.
And they were letting it all hang out on a busy street riddled with kids and cops, and no one bats an eye. The dirtiest street in Vegas doesn't even look like this. We thought AOC was a fierce defender of women. These ladies are being used and abused by pimps, traffickers. Her constituents tell Fox this is normal in the district.
That's sad, bro.
Julie.
God. First of all, I love that Roxanne red lights back on. That was very clever for whoever wrote that. Anyway.
You don't think I write my own copy?
I definitely know you did not write that. Just giving creds to the producers. So anyway, but I have to say, AOC has no idea where her district is. I mean, honestly, and nor do the people who live in her district. They were actually asked and polled recently if they knew who their person was. They don't have no idea who AOC was. She doesn't care about Hispanics. She just wants the Hispanic vote. And that is the theme for Democrats. Democrats thought that they were going to win this election because all the Hispanics were going to vote for them, all the illegals, right? That's why they want the illegals here in order to get voted back into office.
Exactly. See what I mean? And then who does that sound like? It says AOC wants the Hispanic vote. Who does that sound like? It sounds like Jasmine Crockett. Want the black vote, right? But people are starting to realize and notice. I mean, look at this. When you have news that's out like this, and that's why a lot of times I say this all the time when people be like, Recklezz, why do you make your thumbnail like that? Why do you put this in your thumbnail? Why do you do this and why do you do that? I'm going to tell y'all something. It's not to draw y'all in, because let me tell y'all something. Y'all are faithful. Y'all are real supporters. You know, people say real supporters. I don't really say fans. You know, a lot of, some people do, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't like saying fans. I know this sounds crazy, but I really don't. But one thing about it is that y'all real. Y'all real, faithful, all of that. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. But one thing about it is that I know y'all gonna, watch the videos and look out and share them and like them and this, that, and the other. And I'm very thankful of that. But I try to draw other people in too from, the left or people that don't like Trump, and I try to make my titles like this and try to make them like that so they can actually realize what's really going on. They're not realizing what's really going on. They refuse to. So the only thing is to do what I do, and that's exactly why I do it. I'm telling you, I'm going to try my best to draw everybody in. So they can realize what's going on. But you already know Trump got the last word. Check out
AOC, look, I think she's very nice, but she's very low IQ. And we really don't need low IQ. Between her and Crockett, we're going to give them both an IQ test to see who comes out best. Now, I took my test. I took a real test at Walter Reed Medical Center, and I aced it. I got every one of all those questions right. Now it's time for them to take a test. Anyway, have a good time.
I doubt they'll take the test. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.